morning. Good morning. Looks like the sound is working. Get me a cough drop in here. All right. Sorry about that. A little bit of delay. Went to go. I don't want to turn my PC off. Um, it goes into like power standby mode. I was hitting the button, and sometimes it glitches and it doesn't like turn back on again. And it just when I hit the power button, it'll reset, like restart itself. The power button was doing nothing. There was no power. I would hit the button. I could see the lights inside turn on for a second and blink off. I was like, oh crap. I thought I fried the power supply. Um, and then ended up pulling the power plug, resetting the power supply, plugging in. It's like, oh god, this is my last chance, and it turned back on, thankfully. So obviously a little bit behind today. Um, yeah, way to start off Friday morning. Anyway, we got some decent movement out there. Pound, right? King pound. I don't know if you'd say it I don't know. Either way, pound is just taking off. Doesn't matter if we're talking about the yen versus the dollar. Even the euro pound down 35. Good data, right? Good movement in the UK. There's some data out there why we think, why the Bank of England is unlikely to push back against lawful interest rates. Not tons other out there, but overall, again, strong push for the pound. 140 over here is great. 36 is good. 283, and again, this pair just moves. Part of that is also kind of paired with what's going on with the dollar. I'm sorry, with the yen. Some of the comments we saw, again, let's just go to those right now. Where are they? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah. So their CPI is around 3.5%, owing to pass-through effects. Again, not necessarily things of their creating. The level of uncertainty around the economy is extremely high. Again, reason not to raise it up. Average futures are down, and then again, obviously, Bank of Japan maintains ultra low rates. So again, talking about kind of the pass-through nature, kind of reaffirming and again, ultra low is where they're at, basically at zero. Kind of reaffirming that, right? That's weakness. Weakness. That's not the intervention we thought. And again, I wish I knew more about the kind of the uncertainty aspect, what exactly they were talking about. Dial into some of those contagions, but that's just strong weakness. Now, we're also seeing dollar weakness on the board. So you're seeing dollar Swiss down 54. That's a decent run. Dollar CAD down 95. That's big. Aussie dollar, it's only up about, 37. Not huge, but the 145 and the 78 you're seeing again. Dollar weakness. But even versus the yen weakness is winning because the dollar yen is up 60. Okay. So overall, again, yen weakness, dollar weakness, pound strength coming in. And then, overall commodity wise, we're kind of seeing something, along the same lines. Waller's made some comments this morning. Some headlines. I wouldn't say many of them are, noteworthy to where it's like, oh yeah, that's a big one. We need to listen to Waller. Not horrible. We'll see what the consumer sentiment numbers and things like that look like. I think the biggest thing about the numbers about to come out is kind of like does that put a damper on today, right? Will that put a damper, or will that help us continue to kind of move forward with what we have going already? Um, I don't think it's going to be the biggest earth-shattering move. Now tomorrow, nothing. Sunday, nothing, and then on Monday we start getting Aussie news again, right? And also had that surprise raise. The Aussie also had some decent economic data, right? Surprising a lot of people with that data. Much better than expected, right? Much better than expected. So again, I think I think there'll be some cherry trade setups just based off these monetary policy notes, kind of seeing what they're going to do next time. Overall, looking at the VIX, yesterday it rallied back up again after all that data came in. We rallied back up, where we're sitting right now, back up in that 14 and a half. 14 and a half is a decent enough number with where we've been lately. Again, no warehouse of VIX. There's not big boxes of VIX, but again, there would be sellers up at this 1460. Overall today, we'll see what the sentiment does, if it helps drive this a little bit. I don't really feel like it's going to have a major impact today, but I feel like it could help the overall market. Again, with like kind of lack of any true catalyst. Um, you know, I, I feel like we need something, right? We need something, but not like there's anything bad out there, right? That's really just kind of crushing us right now. Everybody's still analyzing data, kind of looking at the data. Um, I don't think we'll get much more. Overall, I don't think we're going to get much more earth-shattering headlines, right, going into the weekend, as we start kind of mid-month, um, as we progress forward. So that's where we're at. Dollar, you can see it's 0.00, right? After yesterday's big drop down, we did find stabilization and kind of use that 102 number, and we're kind of sitting here low. But the reality is, are we going to get anything today that really kind of helps drive this further down, right? I mean, I suppose we could get a headline, but I'd be really surprised if we did. I mean, what kind of headlines we're going to get right now on a Friday, middle of May, right after everything we've had this month, or this week so far. Um, I just feel like there's not as much out there, right? Um, so, is what it is, right? Is what it is. Um, eh, Yeah. So I'd say we got buyers down at 102. I kind of like the formation of this candle. We'll see if that's actually a true bottom for today or if we'll continue with weakness. I do think it has a very hard time. Like, I don't think magically we're going to be all the way down here by Sunday. Um, what's down here? What do they got? Treasury yield spike. Fortune highs as far as concerned. Not much. So, old level, we're smashing through the top side. I'd say watch out. There's a little bit of a hiccup right there. Would not be surprised if that's a 23.6. Yeah, it is. Um, I would say right now, if the dollar is able to rally up to this level, I would say look for it to, potentially, kind of turn and roll back to the downside, the 102.35. We'll just make this 102.35, make it easy right there. So watch out for that. And again, if we kind of push up and get to noon, I could see it pulling back again, but I expect it will probably end somewhere inside of that range, um, with lack of any craziness. Indices right now, you got two in the green, two in the red, just by a little bit. Again, no major driving factors or forces. In 20 minutes, when we get that consumer data, that could help right the ship. And some of this right now, again, they were all up decently a little while ago. Now they're all pulling kind of back down again. With them pulling back down, though, big question is: are they pulling down so they can spike up based off that consumer confidence and the inflation expectations? And I think that probably has a high probability. Those are not technically releases that, again, are major market movers. But if the market's trying to take advantage of a positive day, that feel good Friday aspect, having them drop at the open will get a lot of people to kind of short the market. With that, going into that good news could lead us back up to a nice little green rally, right? That's what we're looking for. Um, Commodities. And minus silver, they're all kind of flat. I mean, oil almost at 71. Um, Oil's back up to 71 because I'm picking the truck up today. Like the truck, I got the call last night, but I was on the way to the boys' practice. The truck is officially done, right? It's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, so I got to miss all the super cheap gas. I'll get it back just in time for to pay the inflated pricing again. Um, but it's done, right? It's done. I asked him, I was like, it's supposed to be done Tuesday. What happened? He's like, well, there's a lot of rusted bolts. So, we were slogging through all those. So I guess I should be extremely happy because a lot of the rusted bolts that it did have on it are now gone, right? So becoming a new truck all over again. Um, yeah, yeah. So I'll get it back. But oil, again, this can go all the way back down to 65. I'd be cool with that one. Natural gas is down just slightly up at 252, though. It's like, oh, I do need to fill the tank up. Gold still hovering around that 1962 mark. It is up just a little bit today, but I'm thinking right now 1960 seems to be kind of the linchpin. 1960 and 24 seem to be the two kind of major sticking points that these two are having right now. Um, you know, I think until we really see that the dollar recover back again, I think the pause. A lot of people really think that they are done, and a lot of people are still saying, we expect them to do rate cuts at the end of this year. Eventually, at some point, I mean, this is like the whole transitory statement, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, it's okay. Inflation's fine. It's transitory. We don't have to do anything about it." And here we are 3 years later dealing with all the drama of it. I feel like right now people are saying the same thing, like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna cut. It's no big deal." And eventually, I think the market's gonna be like, they're not gonna cut this year. I mean, they've been saying it forever, but maybe we should start listening and believing to it now. Um, so I feel like there is another surge of dollar coming, but we're just not there yet. But gold and silver both up just slightly, but hovering around where they should be. Um, Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, there was a nice little kind of overnight. Again, here was the European Open, kind of put a candle with a little bit of a confirmation and touch in there. It was a 13 for 33, 36. Um, Obviously, there is going to be some buying sitting right in this area right here. So it's kind of getting a little bit deep down there. Right now, this one is up about 22. It made it to about 25. If you were in a trade like this, again, you should be, at this point trailing this one down, particularly with the open happening. But again, it's just, maintaining high, seeing a little dollar strength rolling back in and timing that with kind of the data slash US Open today. Um, Again, watch the profit target here. I think profit target one is here. Profit target two would be all the way back down at 68.01 or 68 flat. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it's right below that level of the 23.6. So, um, yeah, I mean, not much to say. It's kind of on its way right now. Again, huge push up, looking for a reversal. Kind of had a small win here, but buyers, and then when it went up again, it was like hit. You could also run a Harry Potter through this one and just use this level of basing right here. So maybe you're not already in this trade and you're looking to get into it. Look for the drop down and pull back, but just be cautious of this zone. It's two ascending candles, and typically when we see two ascending candles, we're a little bit cautious because we know that we got some buyers sitting in that area. Also yen, still high. We talked about a trade here, and you can see it ended up hitting yesterday morning and then came back up again. Once it started the base, we were like, maybe we can get a drop through to the downside on that one when it breaks in. It was basing. We didn't really get the reversal that we wanted on there. Maybe you try to take a Harry Potter off of this one. We had the base, and it gave us a decent entry. And then late last night, it ended up going straight up, came back down, and then chopped through. So that probably was a loser. And again, those things happen. It was a decent. Again, we are looking for a pushback down. We just didn't get it, unfortunately. We were hoping that the yen news would have been, you know, they would have mentioned something based off of where all the price was and the potential of an intervention. We didn't need the true intervention. We just needed them to mention it or acknowledge it. Unfortunately, they went so dovish in their statement, I think kind of a little bit overboard, that we lost out on that one. So, you know, one thing we have mentioned in the past, Harry Potter's, again, that's what we were in right there. Harry Potters are not really news based strategies. They are trending strategies, right? They are reversal strategies. They are not news based strategies. So you may or may not have taken this one because that would have made this a news based strategy. It pulled back ahead of time, right in time for that news. So not the ideal scenario. So let's track the fib up on this one, right? The problem with this one is there's not even like a more near term one that we can draw. Let's pull both these guys off. Now, we are in an area where, again, if this is anything else, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this one. We got an Aussie dollar short. Got an Aussie yen short sitting right here. It's still 20. Problem with this one is it's going to run into a little bit of buyers in here. But overall, right? Overall, if you were looking for something like this, again, this would be a session open based trade. It needs to move to about there, which it's okay, right? That's okay. But this one's going to be slow, right? This one's going to be slow because it's purely a yen proxy play at this point. Aussie is not really going to have, it's not going to help us too much in this one, right? At this point. So yeah, there's not much more. This one's going to be slow. And again, my opinion, Friday trading, it's kind of like, yeah, you could do it, but typically, I'd rather be out by 11. This is one of those ones that you could, set up a trail on it and just let it go, but do not hold this one over the weekend. Again, the yen made all those statements today, but could they intervene tomorrow? Sure. Could be all the way over here, could be up here. You never know. The yen can get crazy. Euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar. I like this now. I like that we still based and we pulled away and then maintained and held. We didn't make it up to the 110. Again, 110 would have been a big psychological level. You can see it's kind of forming low, a definite channel of basing in here. And after this thing stopped yesterday at 1 o'clock, it just kind of maintained, right? Even European session, which was right here, right? European session kind of drove it down into that same zone and then just kind of chop. Now, this is a decent level. We are looking for a pushback down again. So it's going to be whenever, and like I said, I don't know when it's going to break, but when it does break this 109.05 right there, I think this is a pretty decent trade. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to set an alert on there. Let's see. Should we expect this one today? Needs to go 45 pips, right? The 4-hour ATR is 30. Maybe we get some help with the news that comes out. But could that bring us all the way back down here? Eh, I don't know that it's a good release, but I don't know if it's that good of a release, right? I mean, if this was like retail sales or a non-farm payroll, then I would say sure, right? But this is not one of those releases. Hmm, ugh, I'm wondering if this one's going to get. If the data is really good, I'm wondering if this one's going to have issues. Hmm. It's close. I don't know. We'll see. We got the alert set on there. So again, this one may meander around. Maybe we pop up a little bit, but I think next week, again, we know what the European Union is going to do. I think if the U.S. starts talking about, we get some strong data points, we should start to roll this one back down again. And I don't think 108 is necessarily a bad spot. Um, we'll see. Um, I like this. I definitely want to take advantage of this with two profit targets. So it's a decent watch list based trade. Euro pound. All right, so Euro pound, you can see obviously we're out from yesterday. We can extend this down just a little bit. We know we're sitting in bigger levels, so let's set this one up for next week. Again, 1, 2, 3. You can see it kind of did a little bit of a Harry Potter in here. It went down, found this level, came back up, used the broken level, and then pushed back down again. We were sitting in that trade right there. Um, Again, that trade is fully out. If you didn't get out at the 10:30 mark, you can see it's well beyond and past. So that full, 8 for 25 is out and done. Um, we're going to pull that back to there and leave that right now. We're going to leave this one here. Let's see. Target is now hit. Can run that down. It's right there. Trying to see if there's something at 85. Hmm. Hmm. So the problem with this one is, again, we have 2 hours left, right? 2 hours till their markets are both closed. Okay. So what I'm looking at this one right now is, again, we've had a big push, right? Big pound push to the downside. Now we know what's going on with the euro, right? We know that the euro is talking about raising and that they're not done yet, but they're going to kind of follow the data. But again, of all the recent statements we've gotten, I would say that the ECB is probably the most hawkish in the statements that they've made, right? I like their statements. I think their statements are 100% correct. They are behind, though. Remember, they are behind the war. The Ukrainian thing. Whether you're going to call it a true war or not a war, um, you know, whatever you want to, whatever your definition of what a war actually is. Um, like I said, for obviously for people that live in the Ukraine, it's a war. For people in the United States, I don't know that we can call it a war, but the conflict, right? Um, the EU is behind, and I think they're just playing catch up right now. So I think they do have some more. I think that we will start to see this one reverse a bit. Um, we're in the zone now. I don't know if we can break it. We got 32 pips before we hit the 85. That can absolutely be an area as well, buyers. Um, hmm. I think this is going to be more of a Sunday, Monday type trade. I don't think this is one that we're going to be. Yeah, I don't think we have time today. Right? I don't know if there'll be time. Right? The infamous old school reference. Right? I just don't know if there'll be time. Going to Bed Bath and Beyond. Just don't know if there'll be time. Right? Very busy on the weekends. Right? Frank the Tank. So yeah, look for a reversal right now. Again, no trade setup, unfortunately. We got the pullback, right? We got the pullback. It didn't go all the way down and then just continue to push forward. Again, this is again more of a yen type scenario. Again, we're looking for higher. Um, right now, Again, we still don't have a top in there. We're up to 155 in this one. Again, we still just don't have a top that we're really into, right? We kind of had a little bit of basing here yesterday and kind of a test and a little push down again, but not really not nothing really strong on it. I think right now, again, euro, we know where the euro is at. Is the euro inherently strong? It's in a decent place, right? And we kind of need some language. Right now, I think we're gonna have to wash out for the whole day is what it's going to take to get all that Japanese data out. And then by next week, people will be forgetting about it. And again, I would have zero surprise if something like, Japan just made all these comments about, oh, it's weak, right? We're going to maintain weak monetary policy and there's risk. And okay, great. We know before that eventually it starts to hurt your economy when when the yen is so weak, right? Because you can't import anything; it's just impossible, right, to pay for anything. It has detrimental effects. Maybe they don't change policy, but maybe they throw in an intervention this weekend. Would have zero shock, right? Zero shock if that happens. Um, Not that we're going to hold and play that one, but again, I think you got to show extra caution. We don't necessarily have a top in this one. I think, again, we're way overdue for something, right? Um, that's why I wish I kind of knew on like the inside, like, oh yeah, we have so much economic uncertainty. You know, yes and no. Right? Yes and no. So again, as far as setups go for today, 2 hours to go. Not enough time to really get a full trade in for the euro yen. I don't think the yen's trajectory changes too much today, even with its proxy. All right. Liking this one as well now, too. Right. We came back down and we kind of Harry Potter off it. Yes. Right. Thursday we were sitting in here and we talked about this level. It's like, oh, it's starting to base. Next time it comes through. And what did it do? It came up, it based, it pulled back, and bam, it Harry Pottered forward on this one. I'm actually surprised it got as high up as it did. You can see that early morning today, they did start to push it back down again. But again, up, base, pullback, boom, trend continuation. But with that said, it did tag this level of basing right here that we talked about, and price coming through this 127. Kind of like the idea of that one now. So this is another one of those ones. It's like, hey, listen, there's a nice little run there. I think we turn that one into an alert. Where's the top on this one? It's going to depend a lot on the dollar today. This over here. Let's actually change this. Let's go cancel. Let's go here. Red and white. Um, eh. Again, we got a lot of dollar weakness. I think this one we're nearing a top on this one. You can see right now the 23.6 is that same level. We could potentially take one more bounce off of it, but after that, I think we got a decent run to the downside. There's a little hiccup there. Green is deeper than the red, so not as concerned about it. So overall, kind of looking at something along those lines. And actually, reality of this one is there's, I guess, technically 3 profit targets. Right? There's not many times we get 3 profit targets, but I think overall, there's your 3 targets. Okay. Now, you may have said, were we going to take this one short yesterday? Once we got a base right here, right? This 1030 base, when it kind of hiccuped, always kind of makes it difficult because we know that there were buyers that supported it. So it's kind of hard. Now that it's burst through, it's a little bit less risky. So I think it's a better Harry Potter trade now than it was a reversal yesterday. Now, I do think if we pull back down again, I do think Sunday night, European session. Let's see, Friday, Sunday, European session, US session. I think we could get something along those lines. Again, when the Europeans get into the market, seeing pound strength roll back in, dollar weakness roll back in again, especially if it's sitting down at this level, I think that could be a decent, maybe it's up there, right? So right now, again, I would assume that we kind of fluctuate over here. Maybe if we start to pull back, maybe some dollar strength comes in. Again, Sunday night, European Open. Sunday night, if we open up in here and run down. Again, I think the European market is probably pretty decent for that. And again, that's a common trend. Until the U.S. market opens, we tend to see dollar weakness on the weekends, right? On Sunday nights. So it's kind of set up for that one, right? Pound yen taking off, taking names. Whoops, what did I just do? Oh, I wanted to move this. Right. So I like the fact that this did the same thing. And again, would have been a profit target first at 10:30. We punched through it, so this one was fully out. And then what did it do? It kind of Harry Pottered. It kind of Harry Pottered. But I will say at this point, I like this. I like this. And again, it's going to take a while to get down here. But I do like this for a short. Okay. 22 pips is not bad. One to three is sitting right there, putting us right back on time of the next group of sellers. So there, there, there you go. Now, pound yen, kind of the same feeling. Again, I think we're way overextended. Being we're what 181.50 or 181 now. We did pull back from that 181.50 time frame, or 181.41. I think we're way high. If there is an intervention this weekend on this one definitely has the room to run. It'll pop to the downside very, very fast. I'd like to see this kind of tear back a little bit. As you know, again, we have some stabilization in the yen. Like I said, I think it's overly at this point, overly weak. And again, if they're not going to change policy, the only way to get under control would be to intervene. So, um, again, a little bit more challenging, right? A little bit more challenging of a trade setup. This is one of those ones too. Going into the start of the week, again, we are way overextended. You could potentially take some type of a swing trade. I know not many people are still doing Nadex, but if you were, or trading something options based on futures or on currencies, right? This is one of those ones that you can kind of set up almost a swing trade for it, right? Setting up the swing trade would basically give us the ability to say, hey, listen, we're pretty high at this point. We expect something to come back again, some type of a rollback again. And the fact that you can probably get it pretty cheap out of the money, right? That would be the reason to take advantage of it. And then it just needs to get to a break even standpoint. Um, yeah, I think there's something there. As far as is there a trade in this one that I do on a Friday? No, not really. Not really. For me, this is all homework for next week as far as the pound yen goes. Okay. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD continue to drive again. Strong push, right? Strong push. It came down and grabbed the 132.40. We started the base there, and then funny enough, that basing right there. Actually, we have to go to there. Kind of, I guess there. You can see that became the pullback. Boom, right to the downside. So, using it, right? Continuing to go lower. We're down at 132 right now. Again, not horrible. Right. Some CAD strength rolling back into the market. Um, so big question: what can we do now at 132? Um, Unfortunately, oil is up a little bit. We're getting close to that 71. So oil's helping us. The dollar's hurting us. Um, hmm. Do we have a base coming up? I don't think we can see back here. I chunked through a lot of these already. Let's pull these off just to keep it clean. Mm. It looks like 132 has been an area with a little bit more drama. Boom, 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 boom. Base takeoff. Um, I think it looks like there is probably what we're looking for. So, I'm gonna move down just a little bit more. Go for the confirmation on it. It's in yelling, hey. Great little brother in the other room. Driving her nuts. I will pull that. Look at that. The 23 went right on the 33 mark. So we do have a potential bounce coming up. Oh, let's see what the numbers were. Oh, look at that. 3.3. Wow. What's the adjustment on that? 4.5. Yeah, so a little bit of adjustment down, but that's a big jump, right? Inflation expectations, that was a big jump down. And what was the other one? They adjusted it. Yeah, they originally said 50, 57.7. So again, much lower than the forecast, even at the 56. They expected it to be 60, and it came in much better than expected, consumer sentiment wise. So again, overall, this is actually pretty decent, right? For raising the dollar. Again, the consumer believes that, hey, listen, inflation is nothing. We don't feel I mean, basically what this is the consumer sentiment here means, yeah, they're happier than they were last time, right? This tends to be a good kind of leading indicator, right? Um, yeah, preliminary is the first one. Economic confidence means we're going to keep spending money. This is better than we were before. And the expectation is, hey, listen, inflation is not that bad, right? Inflation is not that bad. Well, if you feel that it's not that bad, right? And the reality is the Fed believes it's bad, but the consumer doesn't believe it's bad. That means, hey, they're not going to be pissed at us if we, jump this a little bit more. So, um, not the not the worst, not the worst data. So, yeah, it's not bad. We'll see if that rolls into next week. So yeah, I'd say there's probably a bounce down here. Um, I'd like to see the dollar reinflate. I think breaking through 132, and again, we can set an alarm for this one if you guys want. It's a decent Harry Potter, and it's a long, so we'll change this to green and turn that into an alert right here. There we go. So overall, not a bad little trade. What is it? How much risk? 12 for 38. Love that one, right? 12 for 38. Well, it's 12 and a half for 38. I think that was great. Right? I think that was pretty good. Yeah, I'm a fan of that one. So we just need the reversal. 131.80. Look for the reversal again. It's Friday afternoon, so we'll see what time we can get down there and get some type of a power back in again. Probably Sunday night. If we can get back up again, maybe it's a Monday trade, maybe it's a Tuesday trade. We'll see. Dollar Swiss. Okay, so dollar Swiss came all the way down, and at 10 o'clock, 10:30 actually. Yeah, 9:30, 10:30 was already down here. We slammed into that zone, right? We had pushed that one pretty deep, and we were saying that we really didn't have much until much, much lower, all the way down here. Again, this is another Harry Potter trade. Let's edit that one. I'll have to change it. There we go. Right now, we know this is what we got for the Swiss, right? A couple big plunges back down again. This one had already pushed pretty deep into a zone. This one is a little bit farther, so we know there is some buyers in here, but we know that it got some issues. So let's take that one off. Let's run this sucker all the way down. Again, that didn't. I'm actually surprised that didn't hold. Uh, Maybe I'm not. Hold on. Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't. What time did it hit? Yeah, I'm surprised we got no reversal out of it. It looks like it tanked at 12 and then just stopped. Looks like it didn't even slow in there, so we don't need that one. So let's see. I do kind of like this one here. I do think that's pretty decent. Hmm. Wish there was more of a base in here. I think this one's gonna reverse. I think it's found enough set of buyers down here, right at that 89 level, 89.01. Um, I think this can start its grind back again. Uh, Yeah, I feel like this one's going to start a grind. I don't think we're going to have enough play today in it. I do like it grinding higher. I think this 23-6, as well as that kind of wick against the wall here on the 15-minute, you can see it. Ugh, I do feel like it has the ability to roll off of that. Do I want to take that today? I mean, if it hits it by noon, maybe. Don't hold it over the weekend. Dollar Swiss inherently has many problems over the weekend, so it's not. This is not a hold over the weekend trade. Um, ugh. I like this grind up. The entry's not there. I like the reversal in this one. Um, could this? It's almost too close proximity for today, right? But not far enough away for a Sunday, right? I feel like we could hit it, but I don't feel like we can hit it and get to a full profit target today, right? That would require like another 60 pips up and 60 pips down on a weekend in June, right? Not inherently known for, um, you know, having them in as big a catalyst as we need. Um, I don't know if we can hit it by 11. Maybe we jump by 11 and then we can try to take it. It's rather small. It's tiny, right? Yeah, it's 10. It's like a 10 for 30. Uh, Yeah, I mean, it's there. I guess if you need to be really aggressive, there's something sitting in there. And again, it's a 23-6. There's a supply zone sitting above it. Your 1 to 3 is only sitting right here. Um, Again, ideally, I like that more for a Sunday night than anything else, right? I'm just afraid today, if we hit it, we're just not going to have enough time to hit it and come all the way back down in that, near of a term, right? Before we have to close it down. Um, it's there. I want to like this one. I really do. I really do. But I just don't think it's gonna have enough time, unfortunately. Um, yeah, yeah. All right. So we got dollar Swiss or dollar yen. So again, dollar yen. There's your 8. There's your 930. Looks like we tagged it again, but again, a little riskier to hit it a second time. Red, green, red. We ran it down. It ran into buyers where it should have. So we're sitting there right now. My target was hit. Let's pull that one off here. Looks like we can grind through now. Turn there. That. Pull this. Yeah, I mean, we're at 141 and a half. The zone we're sitting in right here. So this is what we're dealing with right now. We're trying to smash through these sellers, right? You can see last time, strong push to the downside. Um, there is another set on the 2 hour sitting right up here, and that's at 141.80. Kind of like that one better. That would be the 23 is. All right. Oh, right at 142 flat. Look at that. Hmm. Hmm. Also, for those of you who don't know, so the weird thing about the yen is there are certain like circuit breakers in the yen where like when it hits certain targets will magically like bam, it like automatically does themselves. Um, you never know where they are, but 142 potentially could be one. That could be a big selling point. So I'd say yeah, look for this 142.02. Um, we do have a little alert Harry Potter sitting above this though. So again, 142 is an aggressive short. Again, if it comes up in here and starts basing on the 142, then we switch this one and look for a 142, 47 with some type of level of basing. I don't know what it's going to look like. It's going to probably be something along like those lines when it does break. Again, I don't know what the risk is going to look like. I got to see when it breaks through what it looks like. But I'd say that there's probably a long one to come through. So wouldn't be surprised if we pop down and then rally back up again if we don't get that intervention. Maybe we pop up just down slowly today for some profit taking and then come back up again over the weekend, pull back for the US Open, and then take off to the top side. So that brings us up to 143. Right. The target at the end of the day on this one is 143.10. So a little 50 pip runner. So not too bad. Look at that, crypto's down again. It's funny. Dollars rallying back again. Look at it rallying off that point. Um, okay, crude. All right, so we talked about crude. Kind of pulled a little bit of Harry Potter action there, right? Went up, base, pulled back, grabbed it, and went. I'm gonna mark this off though. Now, it's obviously a next week thing. Okay. Look for some basing. Look for a drop and a push down. This one would be a break of approximately 718. And then run this one down. That's okay. Something along those lines. Okay. Oil probably fluctuates back and forth. Again, the data today was actually pretty decent. People thinking that we're good. Inflation's not horrible. That means it's like, oh, we can rate inflation can go up in gas. You think it's only 3.3 right here? Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. We can fight a little bit more. Again, if it only feels like 3.3 to the consumer, right? But it's actually 4.5, right? That means the consumer doesn't feel like it's overwhelming inflation right now, but we do know that it is too high. So, we could raise it just a little bit, raise the heat just a little bit, you know, make sure we get it right back down to the target. Natural gas. So natural gas took a little spike at 9 o'clock and is pushing around. Again, we mentioned yesterday that there was a potential area here. 10:30, we shot through with the inventory report yesterday, right? Um, it's funny. Energy surge right before the advance. Did they? They surged, and then it was like bink, bink, right back down again. I think we probably have a decent setup on this one. Again, remember this market does close early. The hard part about this is yes, there's an area basing right here. That's a huge area. Let's not candy coat that one. This is a big area. You need some more basing in there somewhere, and pull 1 to 3 back down again. It's approximately, I'm going to say right now, it's an approximate 250. And again, 250 will be psychological, right? Where they go up or down, above and below. Um, I think I think this sets us up more for next week trade. I don't think today is the ideal opportunity for this one with the market closing earlier on a Friday. It is summertime too. Again, the weather's supposed to be not wonderful on the East Coast. But we'll probably run out of steam on this one just because of again the week closing and again rolling into the new week. Um, eh, I wonder if this one got any pop from the legislation. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but the House has passed a bill that prevents outlawing gas stoves. I guess Republicans felt that Biden was against stoves or something. I don't know. I hadn't heard anything until I saw the news article that they had passed it. And the White House has said multiple times, guys, we're not going to ban gas stoves. We're not going to ban gas stoves. So I don't know. Somewhere along the line, gas stoves became bad. Like I always thought gas stoves were better than electric, but maybe not, right? Um, I don't know. I guess it depends on where you. I don't know. I feel like if they, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know. Does anybody know? Like, is the push now that they want everybody to have electric stoves? I hate electric stoves, right? I don't know. Like, I feel like if we do electric, like, I don't know. I feel like gas stove is not like a natural gas stove is not horrible. Like, range is not horrible, right? I feel like that is not the most unclean gas that we're burning, right? I mean, I feel like if we put all of our energy needs, like everything, if we have to plug our car in at home, we have to plug our appliances in at home. If everything is through our home and we're getting it from our power company, I feel like that helps utilities, but it also puts us at risk of like, hey, listen, if we want to, you know, if we want to knock out, the entire United States, just take out the power plants and we're good, right? The power grid, take it out. Don't need it. It's done, right? I feel like when there's a power outage, my range still works. I believe it does, right? I believe so. So yeah, typical Harry Potter setup. Gold. Again, we were talking about a Harry Potter. We talked about yesterday how listen, there's a whole bunch of sellers sitting in here. You can see they fought and they pulled back. They fought, they fought, they fought, they fought, they fought. They lost, came back and used those same sellers. And again, those same sellers look like this, right? And literally at 10 o'clock, boom, grab those sellers and then push back down. So there's a Harry Potter trade in this one as well. Huge spike up from the news, and we knew that coming into it. We've tagged the top of it. Come on, just give it to me. We've kind of tagged the top side of it a few times there. Again, I'm a little bit off on those candles. I was trying to get where the confirmation was coming in at. But this is a decent short. I like this. I don't know if it'll be able to get that its full target today. I'd like to see it. I kind of want it to hit this and bounce a little bit so it doesn't ruin it for next week. But 1 to 3 is only sitting right there. You can see nice push down. There's a wick over wick sitting here. Let's see if we can find the exact point of selling. No, not really. Looks like there's one target there. Close. Right. Looks like we got there and there. Okay. And again, all it is basing. It's been, hit once, hit twice. We should hit a third time. Kind of wanted to bounce one more time just so it's a better trade setup. Um, but again, this was an easy trade in the overnight. We knew that we were had sellers up in here. Once that seller was put in, it's like, oh, there you go. You got to throw that top in there, right? Again, descending candles down. It came up, it grabbed it, and this is absolutely well past the 1 to 3. So nice short off the open. Um, or actually, I guess, yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock. So again, it was the new setup, right? So good, nice. Silver had the same setup. Looked like it pushed it right to the brink. So silver yesterday, we talked about this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It fought through. Finally, 6 breached it and came back down and grabbed more of those buyers to ascend again. And then what did it do at 24? It hit it. It hit it again. It hit it again. It hit it again. It drove in. It pulled back again and survived again. Now it's basing and said, yes, buyers, 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 buyers. And finally pushed through and then hit a level of exhaustion. Right. Then it hits level of exhaustion. So man, did those two put up a big fight. Um, Silver, it looks very similar to gold. There could be a case made for a Harry Potter trade sitting right here. Again, bounce, 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 bounce. Could we put a short trade in? How far does it need to go? I don't think it gets. I think it's going to run into a little bit of pressure. Yeah, it's going to run into a little bit of pressure on this one. You may not make the full profit target. Um, Profit should be taken right there. So maybe a little bit. Maybe it's not as good. There you go. Yeah, I like this one on fundamental level, right? On a technical level, also like it. I kind of don't want it to go through and blow this up after in this afternoon. I kind of like it to take one more hit and then we roll into Sunday without it kind of blown up. I'd actually like if we would kind of balance a little bit and maybe even open a little higher, I'm sorry, open lower than the close and then pop up and hit it and go. I'd be okay with that too. Right now, I don't want it to kind of blow this whole trade up. I feel like that's what it's trying to do right now, but we should, you know, we should be okay. right? There's buyers stacking up here, right? That's going to be the big question is can we hold that line? Yeah, that's going to be the big question. Is can we hold this again? Stepped in, stepped in, stepped in, stepped in, stepped in. Technically stepped in up here as well, right? So kind of accelerates a little bit. So yeah, we got sellers. I'm sorry, we got buyers coming in, right? We got buyers coming in. Um, I'll put we'll put this on there, but again, due to this market closing earlier, kind of a little bit nervous about that one. Just afraid we're gonna run out of time. We only got what 2 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. It's 1:30, I believe. Um, this is good and bad at the same time. You're right. It is. I love when people say that. Right? It's good and bad all at the same time. It is. Depends how you look at it, right? What color are your glasses? So that one's there. Let's see opening print wise. What's VIX doing? Yeah, VIX is dropping again. Nothing out there that we need to be concerned about. The dollar pulling back up again, but again, we're at 1030. We're getting right up to that 102.35. It's at 23.6 as well as an area of supply. So do we see the dollar roll now? Feel like there's kind of that potential in there, right? I feel like that potential is there. Need to be cautious with that one. Let's check out ES. Okay. ES, this one ended up was unfortunately at 9:15 gave us this big spike up again. It kind of eliminated any really kind of big trade on this one. There was a position lower. Again, there was a confirm zone there. There's a small confirm zone here from 6:30 that touched it at 8. You could have taken that one. You would have been live on it, but for the most part, we were looking for a pullback even lower. We didn't really get it. Like I said, this was kind of a split one. The 9 was down, then the 9:15 was up, kind of leading us to believe that it would be down. It was. It was a very big down push right back into an area buyer. So there was a long in here that you could have got into, but not necessarily an opening print long. Wouldn't have made much sense on this one, unfortunately. Okay. NQ. NQ had something very, very similar, except NQ actually just kind of bounced off its level of basing with confirmation. So there's kind of your base. There wasn't really anything else over here that we could kind of pull off of. It did just hit it right now, and it looks like it is moving to the top side. And again, this one is all it really needs to do is kind of get back to break even for the morning. 1 of 3 is right there. So the green candle was the 9:15. So the red candle was right here. So this is actually where opening price happened today. So you can see we're almost at a 1 to 3 based off that reversal. Again, everybody thought it was great. Big slam down, stops everybody else out. They're like, oh my God, get me out of this trade. Just get me back to the break even. I'll never do it again. And that's what set up this confirmation in the overnight. A base with confirmation here. And again, we could have actually shortened this to there a little bit, right? Could have done it to there. And 1 to 3 is only sitting right there because there's your confirmation, right? These two. So almost that on NQ, right? YM. YM is actually out. You had basing coming in, then your 9, was it your 9? Yeah, your 9 o'clock candle ended up grabbing that one, blew through the top side, came all the way back down, grabbed it a second time, and then tried to push forward. So this trade is actually already out. Nice little kind of base, pull back and touch. And then again, you guys can see that it kind of came in right here at 9:15. Again, it was a red, it was a 9, I'm sorry, 9, not 9:15. A nice pullback down into that zone to get in there a little bit early. Again, we were just trying to play the trend on it. Okay. Again, if you missed that one and you got into it for the second part of it, here, let's take this one. Here's one. That's what it's looking like, depending on which one you took. Okay. So again, very, very similar. Almost a full profit target. Again, you got it locked in. You're not losing on it. Russell. Okay. Russell, you can see the easy push in here at 8. Again, this is an overnight basing with a confirmation, and it came back down again in 6:45. This was an early one, not necessarily an opening print, but a very, very easy grab off a level of basing with a confirmation. The confirmation was a 3 a.m. European session opening. We're looking for a confirmation in that session. That's why it hit it. But then again, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you can see right here for 8 o'clock, we took off. We went through opening candle, came all the way back down again. We're playing with the same level down here. So again, multiple trade setups for the indices today. Some of them were a little bit early, but you kind of had to expect that with some of the overnight movement that we saw, especially after yesterday. Funny enough, about again, this was kind of also a Harry Potter trade. We talked about hitting 1902 yesterday and then kind of pushing higher. You can see, what did it do? It gave us the old Harry Potter, right? It went up, it came back down again, and then it went higher, right? There's your Harry Potter, right? Your lightning bolt, right? You're up, your pullback, and your go, right? You're up, your base, your pullback, and go. So it was a Harry Potter. It was an opening print. It was a confirmed level. It was a whole lot of different things to push this one higher, just in time for the open. And interestingly enough, did that one hold? No, it didn't. It actually broke. I was like, wait, did that pull all the way up to 78? That's where it spiked up to. We were looking for a profit, and you can see it actually ended up going out the top side, but it was a profit target, not an entry for us. Had you taken the 70, the 60, I'm sorry, the 78.6, it was a decent drop there. So, but yeah, there's your move. So not a bad morning. Overall, not not tons and tons of craziness. Dollar swish you're looking is kind of meeting it back 8, 19, 20, right? So it's all evening outing a little bit. The big movers obviously are still against the yen, the 118 and the 259. So we'll see. That's all. What was the other stuff this morning? Trade balance, not a big deal. Wholesales. Oh, Canadian wholesales were down. That's the worst. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and do the drawing for today. So remember, since I forgot to put it on yesterday, yes, I forgot. My bad. My bad. We put it on for today. Okay. Um. So we'll give those who shall not be mentioned the extra 25 if he happens to go with a triple. Okay. He looks like he is trying, right? Neuro is like, oh, no, no, no. You're not taking this one cheap. Neuro putting up a battle, right? It's the two heavyweights in there today, right? They're putting a little fight in there, right? One of them has a slight advantage, right? A slight advantage of one, but also at the same time, talked yesterday, up on points a little bit. So, and then we have our usual suspects, right? And again, major weight put into these. This I'll tell you right now, this is the day that like, oh man, hate when it does that. No, yeah, giveaways all the way back again. All right, look at that. I was going to close the giveaway down. You see that? Say my name. We'll see. All right, winner of today's drawing is you can only get a maximum of 10. Ernest. You can't get 12. Maximum of 10. Those are the settings. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. Neuro took it with 9. It was super close. And it was super close. I was like, one of you two are going to get it. My take on this one was one of you guys was going to get it. It was basically 50. What was the chances? 41%. I was like, one of you two guys are going to get it, or Will's going to get it with one. That was I didn't think the girls had a chance today. I was convinced. Deep inside, I was kind of like, you know what? This is the day Will's like, holy crap, I won. Really? Seriously? I took it today? I thought it was going to be Will. I really did. Yeah. Like if I had to put money on anybody today, even with the 10 and the 9, I'm like, I feel like Will's taking it. I was really feeling Will. Statistically, it was going to be one of you two. But so, yeah. Market is complete. Again, Ernest was still up. I mean, I think Ernest risked nothing based off of what he made over the last two. And Neuro gets it with 50, so it cost him. Actually, we used what? Neuro used 80 pip chips today. So he was minus 40 for the day. So again, not necessarily using, but I know in his mind, if we beat Ernest, score one for the good guys. Or bad guys. I don't know. Oh, here you go. Let's see what this does with the dollar. There's danger of drawing NATO into the conflict. Yeah, I've heard more about this lately. I don't know if you guys saw it. So, like, obviously, there's a counteroffensive going on right now, right? The counteroffensive is, I mean, they're advancing, they're going, but I guess the air superiority of Russia at this point is starting to show, and they're blowing through armor. I guess there was pictures yesterday of like 9 or 8 of the, I don't know. I think we sent like 40 something infantry vehicles or whatever. There was like 2 tanks, 2 advanced tanks, a roller, and like 5 or 6 infantry vehicles, all damaged and abandoned. So Russia's now getting our technology so they can copy it. So I don't know. I don't think it's going as good as expected, but I guess they expected losses. So, I don't know. And again, the drawing NATO into it is because, again, if it doesn't go well, they just don't have the technology. And even the the article I read was from like a tank expert, basically saying they followed doctrine until they didn't, and when they didn't, they lost a lot of armor, right? And it's kind of like, hey, listen, we're going to give them stuff, but if they don't follow the doctrine that we use with these vehicles, and they lose all the vehicles, like we have to go in there and do it if they can't do it themselves. And I think that's where the NATO thing is coming to. So, we'll see. But never great drawing NATO in. We'll see. I mean, again, I guess if he uses nukes, then NATO's going to be drawn anyway. So, it'll be over one day. It'll be over one day. And I have stocked this up. Yeah, my wife is giving me a bottle of Jameson Black Barrel. Oh, nice, nice, nice. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You guys, all the dads out there, have a great Father's Day. I forgot totally that it was the Father's Day, and then like the kids were like, "Oh, it's Father's Day Sunday." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." Like, comes out of nowhere every year. You guys have a good Father's Day. I will see everybody Monday morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good, safe weekend. Good trading today. Remember, a lot of these futures markets do close a little bit early, so watch out for that as well. So that's it. I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll see you Monday. Take care.